cry.
Hi, I would.
I don't know what kind of...
Hi and stuff, and happy Pride 2021, June. My name is Jasmine Farrell. I am a writer and I am a poet, and I am late to the gay. So I officially came out to myself as a lesbian January 26, 2018. It wasn't a magical moment. I was thinking about it and dealing with myself for months. I was asking people certain questions. Even my current partner, I was asking all these questions, reading late bloomer lesbian stories, and feeling like, dang, like how in the world am I just realizing this? But just reading stuff and doing my research and realizing that, we live in a heteronormative society still, yes, in 2021. So the default response is to romanticize every single heterosexual relationship and always game and hope to be straight. And being that I came from a strong, charismatic Pentecostal background, this idea of a woman loving woman is not an okay thing. But since I was young, that was the case. So before I get started though, just so you know, names and locations have been changed, because although I'm going to speak my truth and tell my story, I respect other people's confidentiality. Some of the people in my life that I was intimate with or that I liked or whatever it is, some of them are ministers now. Some of them identify as straight. Some of them are still in the closet, and I have to respect their confidentiality. So my first girl crush was when I was 6 years old. We attended the same church, and her mom and my mom were somewhat close, and her name was Sasha. Her name was Sasha, and she had these really great dimples and these like cute little poofs in her hair. I loved to play tag with her. If we played I wasn't visiting her house, but I don't know. If you're a church kid, you guys go to each other's houses. It's like 80 y'all kids visiting somebody's house. So every time that was the case, I always chose her to be on my team for something. Or if we played hide and seek, we made a deal. Like if she was the one counting, she would try to seek for everybody first. But if she saw me, she would look past me. Anyway. That was the person who I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life with by sharing Play-Doh and, braiding each other's hair. Because that's what you do when you're 6 and you like someone. You share your Play-Doh with them and you realize that the rest of your life, you guys are going to do each other's hair. That's just what it is. I didn't see a big deal about it. I knew that she felt the same. But I mean, we're 6, so it's just like, hey, Jasmine, we'll both share Play-Doh together and we'll both do each other's hair, That was just the thing. So the first time that I realized it was wrong to be gay, I was in 3rd grade. And it wasn't even a quote-unquote gay thing to do. Me and a friend of mine, we were outside in the playground just wrestling. And some guy, it's like an older guy, I don't know, 2 grades ahead of us, he was like, ew, that's gay, that's disgusting, what are y'all doing out there? And we were just wrestling, you know what I'm saying? But I guess he learned what that term was, an idea of 2 women wrestling, I guess to him was gay. But in my mind, it clicked like, wow, okay, so this idea that 2 women or 2 guys liking each other is not okay. And when I went home and spoke to some loved ones about it, they told me, yes, it is wrong to be gay, but you can seek deliverance. God will deliver you because, if you guys have if you guys have watched my Why I Left Christianity series, you would understand why, the idea of being delivered and all that kind of thing is relevant to my story. So I was like, all right, okay, I didn't pay any mind. I just realized it was wrong to be that way, so don't worry about it. I think that's when I began to over romanticize stuff. at that age with guys, even though deep down inside I like the ladies. So anyway, fast forward to junior high school. I think I was watching Degrassi. It was something that I watched where there was some kind of like same-sex relationship or same-sex infatuation. And that's when I realized, you know what, this is okay. And let me just say, representation is very important because at that moment, I realized there's nothing wrong with who I am, right? So anyway, I accepted who I was, but at that time, I just identified as bisexual, you know? And I had my little girl crushes and my girlfriends, but you know when you're like 12, 13, that's not, ain't a relationship. Y'all just call each other and, oh my God, let our parents take us to the movies, you know, nothing really serious. My former best friend, unfortunately, he told quite a few of our classmates that I liked women. And I mean, I didn't get a negative, like I wasn't like harshly or physically attacked or bullied. I got a few, you know, offhanded comments that were homophobic, but I didn't really take it to heart. I was already like the uncool dork, which I'm still fine with till this day. And so I didn't really pay any mind. I'm thankful for that because unfortunately I know that there are people out there who have been attacked physically and have been told some very hateful things even at the age of 12, 13. Me and this former best friend though, like we're still cool. You know, he apologized, we moved on. He was coming from the same space I was. He was a Christian as well, and it's so wrong to be gay and it's sinful, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. However, I went backwards. So in 2006, as I mentioned in the Why I Left Christianity series, I got saved at 16, right? So it's one thing to just grow up as a MK kid or a church girl. It's a whole other thing to actually choose Christ and be saved, right? And be a adult Christian. So things changed when I got saved and I read scriptures for myself. So when I started reading the Bible for myself and I reached Romans chapter 1, verse 24 to 32, especially that part where it said woman loving woman or woman laying with woman or whatever it was, that's when I realized, oh, okay. Then I continued to read and I got to 1 Timothy's chapter 1, verse 10, and it was just more and more scriptures. Of course, it was a list of things, but the point is, that's when I realized, wow, okay, I gave my life to Christ. This idea of woman loving woman is not okay. So I sought out spiritual leaders and I told them what was going on, you know, and they said, listen, you can be delivered. You know, anything is possible through Christ. So I prayed, I fasted, I sought deliverance, and, you know, I died daily to the flesh. In hindsight, all it was just suppressing self-loathing and self-hatred. But hey, back then that wasn't the case. I was seeking deliverance. And I thought it was good. I didn't have any problems. I was in a 3-year relationship with a really sweet guy. And even in the middle of that relationship, I ended up having a crush on my best friend. And she was also a Christian. She was just as devout as I was. She grew up indoctrinated just like I was. So her response was the same way I would have responded at our age. She kept her distance for a while. And it did hurt, but at the same time, I understood, you know, you don't want your friend to be loving other women. So, and you don't want to entertain that sin. So you're going to keep your distance and you're going to make sure you're not helping her sin. I get it. It actually didn't bother me until I finally accepted my sexual orientation. I was like, wow, ouch. I definitely got shut down and rejected because I like women. And she kept her distance and it hurt. And I just, you know, at that time I embraced it. But like I said, I do understand because I would have done the same exact thing. So no regrets, no hurt, no grudges. It's all right. Maybe about a few months after though, that I told her that I felt the same, I went right back to praying for deliverance, doing what I needed to do, fasting, praying, speaking to my spiritual leaders. Because I'm saved. It's not okay. It's not right. It's unnatural. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So I thought it was okay because those feelings went away. When really, I just lost feelings for it. That's all it was. When I got to college, which I attended a Christian college, as you guys have known, if you have watched Wild of Christianity series, I had no problems. I romanticized, once again, heterosexual relationships, thinking that this was it. Even though in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about women. But remember, I'm dying daily to the flesh. I'm understanding this is probably just a thorn in my side, or I think the thorn in my flesh. So I'm dying daily every day, realizing this is not okay, right? After a while, I didn't like anybody, so there was no problems while I was in college. Once again, I quote unquote slipped up. My junior year, I ended up being physically intimate with a woman. I call her, to this day, I just call her the woman in the black dress, And we got intimate, and afterwards, I completely felt awful. I felt awful. I was like, okay, I'm slipping backwards again. What am I going to do? Because, on top of me loving a woman and not loving a woman, I didn't love her, but on top of me being intimate with a woman, I had premarital sex. This is the first time I recognized it as premarital sex. I'm going to be honest here. That's not the first time that I had sex with a woman, but it just hit me at that moment. Like it's a double whammy. So I felt shame. I felt embarrassed. I felt like I was going backwards. I was so embarrassed. I didn't even tell Keneal, my best friend right now. I appreciate him. Shout out to him. I didn't even tell him. I was just so embarrassed. So I went to the spiritual leaders at my church and on the campus. Same thing. You're praying. I'm seeking deliverance, fasting, all this garbage. There I go, continuing to romanticize heterosexual relationships, thinking that this is it. This has got to be it, right? Fast forward to when I do deconvert in 2014, 2015. I'm unpacking. Towards the ending of 2015, I got my first girl crush in a very long time. She's coming from not a Christian background, but still a pretty rigid religious background. And we're both just navigating that. And I realized, wait a minute, this is not okay. I can't do this. But then I paused. I said, wait a minute. I'm not a Christian anymore. I'm not under some kind of faith where being who I am is shameful and sinful and unnatural. That's not where I am. So what's the problem? So I accept the fact that I'm attracted to a woman, right? So, I date a few women here and there. But in the back of my mind, it's still there. When you grow up indoctrinated with a certain belief, cognitive dissonance is a bitch, and you have to reason with it consistently. Like it'll come in your face like, well, even though you deconverted, what if it is wrong to love women? And that was always in the back of my mind. I had to really deal with that. So it took me a couple of years. By 2016, I thought I was good. I released Phoenix's Groomed as Genesis dubs, which pretty much speaks on me deconverting and the kind of woman that I've loved every now and then. Like, if you read Nikki from Phoenix's Groomed, I think you'll probably get it. So I thought it was good. Something happened, which I won't say, but something happened and I went backwards. And so I dated someone. But while I was dating this person, the idea of loving women kept being brought up. And it was an unhealthy relationship at the same time. So while I was seeking therapy concerning that relationship, I also lost a friend who I was once intimate with in the past. And then there was an old ex that I ran into. There was just so many things happening, like pushing me to face the fact that is women. That's it. So after I left that relationship, I left the over-romanticizing heterosexual relationships. I left this idea that I had to be straight, or, I had to be bi, because I used that as, at that time when I was really facing myself, I used the whole bisexual label as a comfort, because then there's proof, or there's hope that I might just end up with a guy instead of a woman. It ain't nothing but shame, self-shame. That's what it is. The next person who I was with, which is a woman, and she's awesome, and she's filming it right now. I was still navigating my sexual orientation, so I started asking her questions as well. And like I said in the beginning, I was reading up, later in life, lesbian videos on YouTube, and reading stories and how we feel. Women like me, later in life lesbians, we feel like we have no right to call ourselves that because we didn't realize it early on, or we feel like we can't call ourselves that. And then there's this whole new level of shame now. Like, for a while, it took me a minute to actually say it out loud because I was scared of the LGBTQ community gatekeeping me. I felt like I was too late. I felt like, nah, this isn't true. It can't be it. It took too long, but then I realized, nah, who you are is who you are. No matter what religion you were indoctrinated to believe that it's not okay to be who you are, or your own issues, or your demographic, your cultural setting, what society says, who you are is who you are. And when you unpack all of that stuff, it still won't be there. So it took me a while to unpack all of that stuff. So of course I'm going to realize later on, you just a lesbian. That's all it is. And it's just not me being a lesbian. It's even down to how I dress, what I like, what I don't like, what I enjoy. Just all of these things I had to unpack. And I realized that's okay. Everyone is on this journey called life, and you have a choice. You can stay avoiding who you are to be accepted, and I understand, because there's a lot of crap that comes with being who you are, whether it's realizing that you're gay, and you may be already married and you realize you're gay in the middle of a marriage, or maybe it's realizing, hey, listen, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I want to be a painter. I've always wanted to paint. I've been doing it since a child. There's always going to be struggles and challenges, and it's always going to take some time. Some people realize who they are young and stick through it. Some people like me were groomed to go the other way. We're taught to go the other way for a long time, and we join that journey of being groomed to be a certain way and continuing on that journey. But I'm so thankful for the friends that I have met, the people I have met on my path, the shows I've watched, the people I've not liked, even the negative encounters. It just brought me closer to finding me. So that is my story. I had to share it because there are not too many stories. I'm telling you, I was looking and it's not too many. And I got to bring in race. I only saw one Black woman on YouTube who shared her later in life lesbian story. I saw a few online. It was anonymous. And that's a whole other story within itself. But anyway, I had to share that story. No matter what you do, be who you are, if you can. It took me a lot to get here. I had to literally fight through it, mentally, emotionally, sometimes even physically. But I'm glad I'm here. And I'm still learning, still loving, and still being compassionate with myself. So happy Pride 2021, and stay cool out here because it's hot. It is hot as hell. So please. Laters. For more information about my writings and my journey, you can visit my website at www.jasminefarrell.com, or you can follow my Instagram page at Just Breathe Jasmine.